I've got voodoo, I got hoodoo, I got things I ain't even tried. And I've got podcasts on the other side. He's got podcasts on the other side.
Oh, well.
That's just called Echo. It's a little parlor trick we have when we make podcasts in New Orleans.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
Thank you.
I forgot all about Dr. Facilier.
Yes, I am very proud of that
It's a
call.
good one. Yeah,
yes.
Thanks. That was a very good choice.
Nailed it.
Got him.
Welcome to the Disney Desk. I'm Carter.
I'm Sydney.
And we've got villains. We got villains coming out of the pipes. We got villains coming out of the walls. We got them. We got them. Just got them.
We got them.
You got mold? Well, we got villains. Get on our level.
Yeah.
So, I feel like this is one we assumed we did really early and then just never did.
I was just thinking that. I was like, why have we honestly not talked about Disney villains?
Because we got stuck doing movies.
That's true. We got stuck in a movie turbine.
Rut.
Yeah. That was a mistake on our part.
Yes.
We won't talk about that right now. Anywho, we're here to talk about our favorite Disney villains.
Yeah. Disney villains, like, I guess there's the stereotype in movies where it's like, oh, you gotta have the good villain, like the hero isn't as important. But I think Disney captures that very well.
Yeah.
Where even the best, like, princess or hero is like, yeah, but the villain's cooler.
Right.
They get the cooler song.
Exactly, they do, yeah.
Especially recently, they've gone hard into marketing the villains.
Right, yeah.
Like, there's so much merch. They make so many of those dang pins.
Exactly.
I think at Disney World now, they do, like, a villain event hosted by Dr. Facilier.
Yes, that is the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. It is all villains, everything villain. Remember when the House of Mouse had, like, a villain special?
Oh, I forgot about that. They, like, took over.
Yeah.
And they got, like, voice actors to do the bits.
Have we ever talked about the House of Mouse as a concept?
No.
Isn't that weird? Like,
I mean, it's kind of like what Cartoon Network did with cartoons where they, like, lived in a universe.
Yeah, okay, they live in a universe, but it's also like a nightclub. It's like all these Disney characters are at this nightclub.
Well, it's like the Rat Pack.
Like, it's...
Because he's a mouse.
And I'm like, why are all these Disney characters just coming out in, the evening to see, like, a variety show? Like it,
well, they gotta do something when they're not making the cartoons.
Like,
you've seen Roger Rabbit, you know how this works.
I guess, yeah, but like as a concept, I'm like, this is bizarre. But anywho, yeah, they had a whole House of Mouse villain special where like the villains took over the show.
Disenchantment has become one of like the biggest Disney Channel movies, and like that's merchandised out the wazoo.
Yeah, and then what's popular now, directed by Kenny Ortega. Descendants?
Yeah. Or that's what I meant. Descendants, not Disenchanted.
What did you call it?
I called it Disenchanted for some reason.
Oh.
Yeah, Descendants has become this huge franchise of just like the kids' villains.
Yeah.
They keep adding them for every new movie they make, and it's like a big deal who they add.
Yeah.
It's about time Disney recognized them, so we're going to recognize them too.
Exactly.
Like, I'm really curious to see your list, because you've kept it close to the chest.
No, well, mine is just like sporadic. Like, I feel like there's a couple I'm missing that I'm like later I'll be like, oh, I love that guy.
Oh yeah, I feel the same way, but I'm really excited to get started.
Specifically for me, the Queen of Hearts from the live action Alice in Wonderland.
From the live action one.
Yes.
That's
interesting. She just like gets me going. Like I just love a screaming person. I get a kick out of someone that just screams their head off. Like and that's your thing. That's what you do. Like you just scream.
Yeah.
And I'm like okay with that. That's fine.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like her appeal to me is just that she what is her name? Is she a Helen?
Yeah, Helen Bonham Carter.
Yeah. I love everything that she's in. But I just specifically love the relationship and the backstory between her and the White Queen. Yeah. That is just the creation of that character of the White Queen, just for sake of giving the Red Queen like something to do.
Yeah.
Is just so funny to me, and I just love like the story of her head like growing like that.
Yeah.
For being mean, like your head just grows like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's the lore of villains in general. It's like you don't have to have a real like reason. Like it could just be like you're entertaining. Mean. Yeah.
It's a fantasy world. Some people can be evil just for the sake of it.
Exactly. So I really love her. How about you?
Well, that's a good one, because we've gone back and forth on the Alice in Wonderland movies a lot. Like, whereas I tend to be on the more negative side, but I will say, love that performance, love the design.
Yeah.
She's the one person who I feel like really got what was supposed to be going on in terms of personality.
Yeah.
For me, my main one is Shere Khan. I like him for a lot of reasons. One, tigers are just cool. Like, immediately that makes him scary of, like, this animal is an immediate threat. He's had 2 incredible voice actors in the first movie, and they're very different tones, too. I think, like, I give bonus points for having a great live-action and animated version. Mm-hmm. You can readapt this and reimagine it, and it still works just as good. The whole quest begins not because he's already here, but because just the threat of him showing up is enough to be like, we need to get Mowgli out of here. When him and Mowgli finally interact, he's just so mellow. Well, there's that great bit where Mowgli goes, like, why should I be afraid of you? And he just goes, everyone's afraid of Shere.
Oh, you're right.
Scary.
That's a very good point.
That's a great point. I didn't factor that in. And then he's just like, I'm going to give you 3 seconds to run as far as you can. And then when he finally gets angry and he's like, chased, oh, wow, okay, I see why everyone's afraid of him now. Mm-hmm. And then the live-action version, Idris Elba just exhumes
just
this.
Doing the sexy thing.
Yeah, he's just like a thinly veiled time bomb.
Yeah, it's so understated. He does. Yeah. He performs under. That's a dance term that we use, like dance under it. I don't know, but it just means not be so explosive.
Yeah.
About it.
But at the same time, you're
and
like,
that makes him
any
so
minute,
scary.
Yeah. Any minute, things are gonna get bad.
Yeah.
Real fast.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bit in live action one where he's crawling up this mountain to talk to the head of the wolf pack. And you're like, oh boy, this is going to get bad. And then he just sits down. Mm-hmm. And they have this long talk where, hey, I told you that I was going to kill Mowgli. Why did you let him leave? And then out of nowhere, he just snaps, grabs him, and throws this wolf off the ledge. And he's like, oh, dear God.
Yeah.
And I also love that with the live-action ones, they tend to have this struggle of, like, adding more complexity to the villains. And I think they do a really good job with Shere Khan, where he raises a good point. Mowgli is dangerous. He burns down a huge chunk of the jungle, bringing fire back to the crowd. And I also love that his weakness is fire because it seems like such a simple thing, but I love that the villain has one thing they fear trope.
Right.
Yeah, just an awesomely classical, well-written villain.
Yeah. Good one. I wouldn't have thought of that. My next villain, I just decided right now, is probably my favorite villain, is Killmonger.
Killmonger. Oh, we're going
and we're going Marvel.
Oh, no, fair. I didn't know we were allowed to count Marvel.
Why not? They own
good
it.
Point. No, that's yeah, I mean, well, he's just the best. He was the best villain of last year. He's the best villain Marvel's ever done.
Yeah, and he's given the Disney fandom a lot of
one-liners.
A lot to work with. Yeah,
a lot to work with in a lot of ways.
Of ways. Yeah. Out of the gate was one of the most like relatable characters I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I guess in the broad scope of what Black Panther was trying to say. I sympathized with Killmonger so much and really like recognized him and what recognized him literally as a person where I felt like I knew people that were exactly like him and recognized myself in a lot of ways in him. And I mean, I almost don't consider him a bad guy or a villain.
Yeah.
And when you think about what it is he really wants, and all of us feel that way.
Yeah.
That anger and that complete resentment, you know what I mean? And just and the desire to like, I don't know, kill everyone. You know what, for lack of a better term. But that side of blackness and that whole story is one that I think that has never really been told before. Because he, even like the child version of him, like when he goes to the ancestral plane and he visits his dad, and
so
then
cool
he
how
said
his version of the ancestral plane is just their apartment. That's
is
so
in
cool.
his apartment, yeah. And well, that was what all he'd seen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the thing is like, I mean, we could not be further separated from our own heritage. We have no concept of Africa. We have no relationship to that. And that's what was so beautiful about bringing him to like the sunset. You know what I mean? And it's like we have
every goddamn
like
time.
Africa is like the most fertile piece of land on the globe. Like there's every beautiful thing you could ever want to see is there, and we have like no relationship to it. We have no concept of that. We have no anything connecting us to that. But what he says as a child, when his like sees his father, and he says like, "Oh, no tears for me, like you're not gonna cry," and then he said, everybody dies. It's just what you do around here. Like, that is... Do you realize that there are children living in, everybody dies. It's just something that happens around here. That to be murdered and to be around this kind of violence for this child is what, like 8, 9 years old.
Yeah.
Like, is just like, is what happens to you here.
And how heartbroken his dad is to hear that.
That
it's just like,
that is his fault, essentially. That he's even in this.
He couldn't
in this
save
life.
him.
Yeah.
So
that's why I love Killmonger.
Yeah, I'm almost like, do you want to just stop? I'm not going to beat that. I'm not going to counter that. Recently, I saw this great piece where Ryan Coogler explained he knew that everyone was going to love T'Challa. He's the Black Panther. He's cool.
Yeah,
he's charming. He can, like, quip a little bit. He's not Iron Man where he just makes too many jokes.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to worry about making him empathizable. Mm-hmm. So with Killmonger, he's like, I took everything I felt about Wakanda and the concept of blackness and just my place in the world, and I channeled all of that into Killmonger.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's how I made him relatable.
Right.
And
so yeah, he's on my list. Okay, what's your
on
next?
A slightly less emotionally resonant, thoughtful note, I kind of had to go classic Disney villain for at least one of these, or like, the iconic canon of villains.
Mm-hmm.
The evil stepmother from Cinderella.
I was gonna say her too.
Really?
Well, like, I wasn't really gonna say her, but like, I was looking at this and I was like, who's missing from the? I have this mug.
Yeah,
like,
that's
that I got
what
from the Disney
inspired
store.
us to do
Yeah,
this.
and it has all villains on it. It has Maleficent, it's Ursula, and the Queen from Snow White. And I was like, someone's missing. What is their name again?
I think they're just the evil stepmother.
They have a name. I know the sisters, like, they give them a name.
One of the sisters, I think, is named Anastasia. And then I forget who the other one is. She's the one who gets, like, personality in the later movies.
It's like...
Lady
Tremaine. There it is. Yeah,
yes.
Lady Tremaine. I know they had a name.
Especially the animated version, just the idea that a person can just be so singularly cruel and channel all of their, like, negative emotion and cruelty and, like, disappointment with life into this one person. Mm-hmm. How they can basically, without any magic or without any powers, just possess and entrap someone. Yeah. With 2 dolty daughters.
Yeah, who wouldn't know any better anyway.
Yeah. Cinderella can leave whenever she wants, but she's so thoroughly imprisoned by this woman who just has such power to control everything around her.
Right.
And just, like, the scowls of disappointment, the fact that she, like Cinderella does all these chores, and she immediately is like, well, did you do this? Mm-hmm. And just this calm, just simmering voice.
That is what's so scary about her, is her calmness. Like, she has these piercing eyes.
She despises Cinderella, yet never, like, raises her voice above a disapproving growl.
Yeah.
She can always find something else for Cinderella to do to keep her from, like, reading or learning or growing or realizing how abusive a situation she's in.
Yeah. She organizes the sisters to just be upset with her.
She's turned family members
them.
Against her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she basically gaslights Cinderella into submission. And that's what makes the ending of that movie so satisfying. And the fantasy, like, the sort of wish fulfillment of that movie of, like, the commoner becoming a princess, it works so well because just the looks of, like, disgust and fury, careful little home world that this woman has created just crumbled in front of her. It's so good.
Yeah.
She's a masterclass in great facial expressions on animation, how to direct a voice acting performance, how to create a rich character with very little exposition, where you just understand. You've seen a person like this before.
Oh, yeah.
You understand the kind of people who control every little bit of a house and you become corrupted by it. And then the live action version, they go for a more human one, and yet it still works.
In the more recent one?
Yeah, in the live action one. It still works because, like, again, I was kind of against them giving her, like, a relatable backstory because I'm like, can't a person just be evil for the sake of evil? No. And yet, it still works. I get it. Well, one, because it's Cate Blanchett, and Cate Blanchett could, like, act her way through a steel box. But, you understand because you had, like, a relationship with this husband and you realized he would never love you as much. Like, you were a replacement. And of course that would make you bitter.
Yeah. Hades is my next favorite villain.
I wanted to do him, but I had some reservations.
Yeah, because, like, James Woods is a bad guy.
All right, I'm glad we're on the same page. It turns out that James Woods is an actual Disney villain in the worst ways.
He's an everything villain. Like an everything Beckel, but with terrible stuff.
With xenophobia and anti-vaccination rhetoric.
Yes. Precisely. And was featured on Family Guy.
And featured on Family Guy too much.
Bad guy, yeah.
But the character.
But I love Hades so much. There's so much when we need to make an episode, and we've been talking about this, just dedicated to how genius Hercules is.
How much good there is in that movie.
How much great there is in them. Oh my gosh. But his performance as Hades is really amazing. Yeah. And I just love... it's not just, like, the performance of Hades, but it's the whole theme that he's, like, the devil, and this is hell. I think that's what makes Hercules so great, is that it's so deep into its universe without trying. Like, they picked a universe that lends itself to all of these, this is a real universe. Like, we are in ancient Greece, and we, like, believe in gods. Hell is, like, this plate. Like, you know what I mean? It's, like, all these souls are swimming in this, like, river.
Yeah. Like, you could do it straight-faced, and it would be like, oh, this is actually kind of scary.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you could. It would be terrifying. Yeah.
Like, the way they designed it.
Right. No, I love Hades. I just love his style. Like, I just love that his hair is like a flame, and he has
such a
and just the way he moves style. And talks, and like his whole, and like some of the jokes that they give him, I don't know, like, I think I just love him because of the movie that he's in. If you know what I mean.
No, because you've talked about how much you love this movie.
I love Hercules,
and he's like the best part of this movie.
Yeah, he's one of the best parts of this movie. So I just get a real kick out of him, and Pain and Panic, his two little minions. It's genius. It's great.
Yeah. I mean, for me, he's what makes the movie, because his tone dictates everything else in the movie. Mm-hmm. Because originally, apparently, they were going to go with a much more straight-faced, like, I am Hades.
Yeah,
and James Woods came in and just started riffing.
Guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're gonna do this, like, light, rompy take historical mythology, you need to have a funny villain.
He's got to be a 90s bad guy.
His, like, laid-back sort of...
Mobster-ish.
None of this is that serious energy. Just permeates throughout the movie and creates this awesome tone that I think Disney's tried but never quite captured as well.
Yeah.
He's so hunchy and just,
he
tired.
He's ugly and he's bony and it's great.
He's
got pointy teeth.
He has probably my favorite expression of any Disney villain, when he's like, I haven't gotten that choked up since I had that masala stuck in my throat. And then he just goes like, eh? And I'm like, that's the best face any character in the Disney canon's had. Another one for me, gotta go Ratigan. Another one who I feel like gets left in the sort of void. Ratigan, one, because he's voiced by Vincent Price, and Vincent Price is just one of my favorite actors of all time. Just one of the best voices on the planet.
Wait, what is this from again?
The Great Mouse Detective. He is the rat version of Moriarty.
Okay.
In this Sherlock Holmes adaptation.
Right.
I think what you are with Hercules is me with the Great Mouse Detective. Only people remember Hercules.
Yeah, that's why I was like, what are you talking about?
Yes.
Okay, now it's coming back to me.
Like, I don't even know it again. One, just great design. Like, because, you have all these animated mice and rats, and, like, most of them are relatively the same size and stuff. This guy's huge. He's just, like, his body is a pyramid. He's huge, so he's instantly terrifying, and yet again, he has Vincent Price's, like, slick, buttery voice, just kind of, like, smoothing. The way he moves around is very, like, slick and charming. When he figures out Basil, the mouse detective's in disguise, he's just, like, going around him like, ooh, well done with this one, patting him on the head. I'm just like, and yet, again, he's still very much a threat.
He's jazzy.
Yeah, there it is. That's the word for it. But at the same time, much like Shere Khan, when he gets angry, he's scary as hell. Like, the final battle is on Great Big Ben inside, like, the mechanisms of it. So they're, like, running around gears. His, like, slick suit is tearing off, and he's getting, like, more hunched, and his teeth are showing. And I'm like, he actually looks like a rat. And then you're just like, oh, yeah, rats are scary.
Yeah.
Right. Like, his plan is crazy convoluted, but it works when you're creating a reality where it's Sherlock Holmes meets mice.
Yeah.
Where he's like, I am going to kidnap this inventor who will make a robot version of the queen, and I will kidnap the queen and put that robot version in, so I will have power over Mouse London.
That reminds me of Yzma. She used to make plans.
Yes.
Like,
Yzma-level plans of, like, ridiculousness, except
going in the back door, essentially.
Yes. I love that his villain song, all of his henchmen singing about how great he is, because if they don't, he will feed them a cat. He has a belt. Like, he hates being called a rat, like, because that's like a dirty word in their world. Someone calls him a rat, and everyone just freezes during this song, like, and he just picks up like a little bell, rings it, and then you just hear stomp, stomp. Guy gets eaten, and then everyone else just starts singing louder because it's like, oh, we don't want to get eaten. Like,
That's a good one.
He's smoozy and scary. He has a great song, just classic design, classic American voice actor performing him. I love how like modern takes of it have shipped him and Basil, where they're like jealous ex-boyfriends, just because of the way they play off each other. Just like I feel like the best villain in the most forgotten movie for me.
Wow.
Yeah, that's probably one of my favorites. Do you have any other ones you want to throw out there?
Yes. My biggest one, I guess I saved it for that. We'll have to do an honorable mentions for at the end. Oogie Boogie.
Oh, that's a good one.
Is my favorite villain ever.
You've been talking about this one for a while.
I talk about Oogie Boogie all the time. He's my favorite, and it's just because I'm one of those Halloween weirdos. And I feel like you'll only appreciate Oogie Boogie if you are a Halloween weirdo. And so, like, what is this dude? He's just, like, a sack stitched together.
Yeah, with bugs.
Yeah.
He's
with
literally a
bugs
hacky
crawling
sack.
Out. He's a hacky sack.
That kind of looks like a ghost.
And it's like, what better way to personify the boogeyman than a sack? Because what is the boogeyman? Has anybody ever seen him? No.
Like, he doesn't have a shape.
So this doesn't have to be anything specific at all.
Right?
So there you go. You have a sack. A talking sack. And there's spiders and snakes crawling out of its mouth, obviously, because scary. Because that's
terrifying.
Because that's terrifying. And he just has the most iconic entrance in This Is Halloween.
Yeah. Like,
when he
you see
appears
him
in the moon, I am the shadow in the moon at night. And like, wow.
And then
you're
you don't
scary.
see,
and
then you don't see him again
until
like the middle of the movie,
man?
when you're like, oh, F.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, F, we're in trouble now.
Yeah, no, and so for his whole, for like you to be this boogeyman, which like, what does it even mean? It doesn't even have a meaning, but you're just like what is that? Yeah, but you're the boogeyman, and your theme is that you gamble.
Yeah, you have a giant roulette wheel.
You have a
for
casino.
Some reason.
Your lair is essentially an evil casino.
And it's not like you've made a casino. No one else is here. It's just you.
No, it's just
you've made
you.
this
So
exclusively for your
a
fun.
Slot machine. And you play dice, like, and you have this roulette wheel that you kill people on. Like, wow, this is. I think it's just a genius idea that the boogeyman doesn't even mean anything, and so it can be anything. It can be nothing, and then encapsulate everything. Like,
yes.
And he has one of the greatest songs ever. First of all, Ed Ivory is his actor.
Song.
That is a very like. It's just he just delivers this terrifying performance. That is just so suave and cool, and he just has this like deep like bellowing laugh. Yeah, he's just a monster. That's all you need to understand about him is that he's a monster, the worst monster, by the way.
Yeah,
and it's like that's something to consider. Is like what fears do the people of Halloween Town
have?
Oh, that
this guy.
They're all afraid. They're all monsters, and they're afraid of that guy. Like that's really impressive.
You're right though. I love the song because so much of it is literally like. He tells them to kidnap Santa Claus, and then he's just like, "Are you effing serious? This is what we got.
No, he's not impressed.
This is the important thing we were supposed to get.
Yeah,
this fat
is
guy.
Stupid. Yeah, he spends the whole song roasting Santa Claus, calling
just
him
dunking
fat,
just bullying him,
yeah.
just like shoving him in a trash can and kicking him down a hill.
Right.
And that's what he spends his villain song doing. Like, I get one of these, and I'm gonna use it to just dunk on you over and over and over until the backboard breaks.
Right. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, so he's my favorite villain, and this is why.
Oh God, struggle. I guess if I was gonna add one more to my hot list, it would probably be Scar. Again, something about the animal ones are especially scary.
Yeah.
I like him. One, again, just another great voice.
Yeah.
You immediately get why he's so bitter, because it's like, oh, he's never going to take the throne. And it works in that Shakespearean sense of like, oh, fate has cursed me to be the second born.
Right, yeah.
And then another's born who keeps me from taking the throne. Like, I love that. I love how he almost stumbles into his plan. Like, he basically stumbles into his plan. Like, Simba causes this calamity, and immediately, like, he doesn't need to pre-plan any of this. He just knows, like, this is how I'm going to take the throne.
Right.
Run, hyenas, go kill him, done. And I think another great villain song.
Yeah.
Like, he's got great henchmen. And I think ultimately, what I love about him the most is that he finally gets power, and he sucks at it.
Yeah,
like the
he
Pride
really
Lands are falling
is.
apart.
Yeah,
like the
he has
hyenas.
no experience.
Yeah, the hyenas have been like he's basically warded them off. Like he's short with everybody. Like I don't know. There's something so again. It's very Shakespearean. This idea that he wants power so badly, but he
Right.
has no real plan for it. He just wants it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people complain about that, but I'm like, that makes him a better villain for me.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like, for all his scheming and planning, like, he's just vain.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's compelling.
Yeah, that's true.
The only thing I don't like how Simba tells him the truth. Because, like, Simba's whole arc is like, oh, I'm going to learn to accept what happened and move on and forgive
That
myself.
I'm a murderer, yeah.
Yeah. And then, like, oh, you didn't actually do it. Like, I mean, I'm fine with him finding out, but like the fact that that's what turns the battle is a little disappointing to me. And also, I think of all the shocking Disney deaths, I think he gets my favorite.
Oh my gosh, why haven't we done an episode about Disney deaths?
We'll get there.
Okay, we'll do that one day. That's on the list too.
Although now that I'm saying it, shoot, I was torn between Scar or Gaston, but I guess I'll put Gaston in the honorable mentions because it's not like we're done talking about it. I just like talking about how Scar kind of sucks at his job.
He does suck at his job.
And then his death is like, you know, all these people who he's like cast away. Oh, that's so good. Honorable mentions. Well, I'll say Gaston right away.
Gaston.
I love him because, again, he's another one who just like, you don't need that much explanation.
No,
you
he's a white man.
Get him. Yeah, he's just big.
And
he's
doing,
macho.
all of the honorable mentions are white men. I was going to say General Radcliffe.
For some reason, I was
White
thinking
man.
he was the guy from Tarzan. But yeah.
Oh, Kerchak.
Yeah, I love
Clayton. That's
Clayton,
what it is.
that's
Who's
it.
Kerchak? Oh, Kerchak is the gorilla.
Oh,
The gorilla version
right.
of a white man is what Kerchak is. Because he's just as bitter and mean
He's just
and
salty
controlling.
and doesn't want anyone in his
and
community.
doesn't want anyone to have fun or have rights. So yeah.
But yeah, I love Gaston because you just get it. He's a jock, you know. He was the big sports star.
Yeah.
Of course, everyone would go along with his plan.
Yeah.
Of course, everyone would believe him. Of
Yeah.
course, no one sides with Belle. And
Of
like,
course not.
and
yeah.
I like him as parallel to Beast of someone learning to be a better person and
Yeah.
someone who can never be a better person because they
Yeah.
love who that.
They're in their own way.
Yeah.
From that. Yeah, that's a good one.
And I love the live action version. And also I like that they emphasize that he like fought in the war just because again, he's a
He's a
sports
bro.
star.
Yeah.
You know, he's cruising on his
Fighting in
victories
the
10
war
years ago.
is like the 16th century version of playing football.
Yeah,
Of being a
going to
quarterback.
state.
Yeah, going to state, exactly.
Yeah, like I think that works really well.
Okay, wait, let's keep these brief. Okay.
Okay,
honorable
right.
mentions. General Radcliffe.
Yeah, because he's
Very
just
good.
so lame.
Very good. And General Radcliffe has a very nice song. The Mine,
Yeah.
Mine, Mine song, which we mentioned earlier. Yeah.
It's very kinetic. I like it.
Yes, it works well, and like everyone kind of knows that he's stupid. Even the guys who are following him at first, later, and they very quickly just turn on him, and I think that's
Yeah.
very funny.
And like the only way he can keep them from like killing him is stewing racial hatred.
Yeah. So.
Wait, is
yeah.
Pocahontas secretly? No, Pocahontas isn't secretly woke. No. Don't be stupid, Carter.
No, it's not woke at all. No,
Yeah.
no.
No, it accidentally was woke.
No. Yeah, it accidentally was woke. So.
No, you're right.
Bad,
You're right. No.
Bad guy.
No. Anything smart about it was a complete accident.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I really like Hans from Frozen. I know Frozen's overdone.
Oh, yeah.
But I love it because I genuinely did not expect that. They actually, even though it seems obvious after you watch it, it's like they
It
do a good
does.
job with the bait and switch.
Yeah.
Because you can easily see the 90s version of this where Anna marries Hans and Elsa marries Kristoff because they both love ice. And, you know, they beat Weasel.
Because they both love
Yeah,
ice.
basically. You know, they defeat Weaselton, who's like ready to start an army
my
because he
God.
wants to plunder Arendelle. And it works. And it's another great voice acting performance where they do a great job making him empathetic, only to turn that around.
Dang, I had something right in the front of my brain,
Um,
and I forget who it was.
well, real quick, Ursula, obviously.
Okay, Ursula's great, especially since they kind of modeled her after B. Arthur.
Yes, and I love how everyone knows she's bad. She's a brilliant like crime
Yes.
boss in the sense that everyone just kind of has to accept because it's like,
Yeah.
well, we need these things.
Yeah.
But she's clearly evil.
Right.
But we
yeah.
need this.
She also has a great song as a human.
Yes.
When she's like pretending to be Vanessa, which
Yeah.
was like the only bad girl name of the 90s.
Yes.
You ever know every like
yes,
90s
and they
villain
have to have black
is
hair.
named Vanessa with black hair.
Yes.
And that's the law.
If you're not doing the ditzy blonde is the bad guy, then you have
then
to
you
do
have a
black
dark-haired
hair.
Vanessa,
Yeah.
and then she's a
the
villain.
Two
this
is poles.
the world we
no
live
middle
in.
ground back
this
in the
is
90s.
the politics.
Yeah, she's incredible. Yes. Ernesto de la Cruz.
Ernesto de la Cruz.
Great, because I was genuinely sad when he turned out to be a villain. Because I'm like,
It
no,
was.
I like him.
Oh
You
my
bastards.
goodness.
'Cause
Yeah.
they do such a great job creating this world that he lives in.
Yeah.
And like creating his celebrity. That when you finally meet him, you're like, yeah.
Right.
And then you're just like,
But when you think about it, like, you think about who he's supposed to be, like, was Elvis a very good guy?
yeah, that's true.
No,
it
Elvis
makes
was
sense.
the worst guy. So
Like, it
there
works.
you go.
The
John
logic
Wayne was
tracks.
the worst guy.
Yeah.
So this is this
Like,
makes
what
sense.
they emulate him on makes sense that he would actually kind of be like a
Be a
backdoor
terrible
dealer
guy.
and backstabber.
Yeah.
And the twist works, and it results in one of the most satisfying. Him dancing with on the stage is one of my
singing that
favorite
song.
fights. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a very good.
Because it's so
that was
tense
beautiful.
and
Yeah.
dazzling. One of the best villain confrontations we've had in a Disney movie. I think I'd be remiss if we didn't say Maleficent. Just because her name is literally bad.
Yeah, that's true. Her name, my name might as well be like Miss Evil
Just
person.
Iconic design.
Yes.
Just
Timeless. Great Angelina Jolie
yeah,
performance.
like, I was so worried when they're like, we're going to give her a tragic backstory. I'm like, no, she's another person who's evil for the sake of evil. But they go so hard in the, like,
they do
let's
go
make
deep
it
into it. Yeah.
dark.
Yeah.
And it pays off.
We can't just like do this without mentioning Dr. Facilier.
Yes. Probably, that might be one of my favorite.
Great
There's a reason why I
performance.
opened with him.
Oh yes, yeah. No, Dr. Facilier.
Great performance.
Amazing performance, amazing theme, amazing
Yeah.
story. I mean,
Yeah.
like a voodoo dude. Wow.
Yeah. If you were going to transpose the story of The Princess and the Frog into 1920s New Orleans, that's the only thing you could do for a
Yeah.
bad guy.
Is make him an evil voodoo king.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I love how lanky he is, so every time he dances, it's like, this doesn't
he
feel
is
correct.
a skeleton. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, when he's doing, like, the twirls and stuff, you're like,
Yeah.
what the heck? Those
Right.
legs are too long.
Right. And that he's just aided by this. His own shadow is its own character.
Yeah.
Like Peter Pan, but
Yeah.
like
And I
it's
love
amazing.
And I like that, as scary and intimidating as is, he's just second in banana to the actual bad guy, who's,
Yeah.
I guess, the underworld.
But-
and he screws up so bad that he gets dragged into, like,
into
the
hell
depths.
forever.
Yeah.
And he's a statue, like, and yeah, he's just frozen in time.
Yeah.
I also think he commits like the worst
Murder.
He commits
Oh.
the worst murder.
Steps on him.
He stepped on Ray, and
Just
Ray,
crushed him.
like, oh my god, that was depressing.
For no reason.
And I
For
remember
no
when
reason.
I first saw
He's not a
Princess
threat
and the
to you.
Frog in the movie theater and going to school after that, and like my friends had seen it, and the first thing that they said was like, yeah, it was so sad about how Ray died. And I was like, I know, like that was all
Like,
anyone could
God, it
remember
was so
about that was
mean.
that like he straight up steps on Ray, like, on the list.
Jafar's another one, just great voice acting performance. I like that, like, he kind of
A
has...
great minion.
Yeah. He kind of has power from the get-go, because he's like, he's on the verge of winning, honestly.
Yeah.
Saladin is like, well, I guess you have to marry my daughter because there's no one else.
Yeah, the Sultan is stupid enough to.
Yeah, like he almost doesn't need to get the lamp.
Right. Yeah.
If
he's
anything,
this
getting
close to
yeah,
hypnotizing
kickstarting
him.
the lamp almost like dooms his whole operation.
Yeah.
Um,
He even gets his own spin-off straight to VHS movie.
and he teams up with Hades in the TV show, and they're like, what if we got
No.
Aladdin and Hercules to fight?
Why would we do that?
And then they realize that they're friends, and they kick down the door, and Hades is like, all right, don't panic. Good guys kick down the door here all the time. We can still get out of this. Both the Aladdin and the Hercules shows are grossly underrated. We might need to
Yeah.
talk about that. I mean, I think the fact that we had so many we could go through.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, when we did the Prince one, the Sidekick, we had, like, our set 3.
Right.
There's just so many good villains.
There are, yeah.
And they're all good for various
different
reasons.
reasons, yeah.
And yet similar reasons. Because so many of them, you find those common threads of, like, oh, they're so cool and slick.
Yeah.
And, like, they have great facial expressions. We talk about, like, the Disney style and, like, Disney's iconic brands and stuff. I think one of the ones they've secretly made the best is the villains. Because more than anything else, like, if you were a good Disney villain, you are instantly put into the canon of iconic characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll
Okay.
wrap it up for us. Until next time, I'm Carter.
And I'm Sydney.
Have a magical day.
Thanks for listening to this episode of The Disney Desk. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel and thumbs up this video. For more content, be sure to check out our Tumblr and look for us on Facebook. Have a magical day.